ladies and gentlemen.
Start your engines.
It's the In Wheel Time Weekly award-winning live car talk show. Just ahead, we are hoping to get a hold of Cole Bishop to talk about a fun place to take your Jeep off-roading. It's close by. We're also going to have our Ram Tracks feature, Conrad's Car Clinic, today's auto news, bunch of other stuff, jibber jabber, along with Mike Out of This World Mars down there on his cell phone trying to get a hold of Cole. King Conrad DeLong doing something on his computer. I'm Don Armstrong fiddling around over here on your Saturday. So thanks again for joining us. And while we wait for Cole Bishop, I had a little thing that I wanted to kind of share with everybody that I thought was pretty interesting. Dodge, Mars just did a Dodge review. Dodge became the first domestic brand to claim the top spot in J.D. Power's annual report card on new vehicle quality, while Tesla unofficially finished last at its debut appearance in the study, now in its 34th year.
Well, and not only Dodge won the car category, Ram won the truck category.
Genesis was the top-ranked luxury brand for the fourth year in a row. Following back-to-back podium sweeps by Korean brands, Detroit automakers claimed 3 of the top 4 slots in the closely watched initial quality study released Wednesday. The study measures the number of problems reported over the first 90 days of ownership. Man, it used to be, I remember vividly, you go buy a new car, and you always put a little spiral notebook in there because you had
Major
notes about this was wrong, this didn't work, this fell off, this broke, blah, 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 blah. And the list went on and on and on. And over a 2-3 week period, then you'd take it back to the dealer, and then the dealer would have his punch list that he would have to go through, and the car was in the shop for 2 or 3 days, and then you get it back. Remember those days?
Hopefully all of that was fixed. Well, now the initial quality survey by J.D. Powers is the keynote quality survey that most of the manufacturers mention in all of their advertising. So being at the top of the list is pretty awesome.
So let's go through some of them, shall we? Let's start with the industry average. There's 166 problems per 100 vehicles. Problems per 100 vehicles. There's 166 problems.
So that's 1.6 problems per vehicle.
If you can break it down that way, yeah.
Well, that's the way that they do.
So that's the industry average. So let's start down here. Cadillac, 162.
So they're
we're going up the list now to number 1.
Cadillac's just a little bit better than average.
Okay. Then Nissan, 161. Lexus, 159. That was kind of surprising to me.
Was always at the top of the list for quite a few years.
Yeah. Then there's Jeep,
which is pretty awesome considering.
Right, at number 11. Number 10 is Hyundai. Number 9 is Volkswagen. Number 8 is GMC. Number 7 is Buick. Now, these are manufacturers across the globe, all the manufacturers.
And Buick had been in or about the top there for a few years
as
well.
Oh, yeah. Then, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Number 6, Mitsubishi. Ugh. You've got to be kidding me.
No comment.
Genesis, 5.
And Genesis at number 5 won the luxury category.
Right. Ram, number 4.
Well, Ram was tied for number 4.
No, but not on this one. Okay. Ram is not tied. So number 4 is Ram. Number 3 is Chevrolet. Now, understand that this is all across their entire makeup of cars.
Right. Cars and trucks.
Kia was number 2. It was tied with Dodge for number 1. Dodge was 1, Kia 2.
And that's a testament to the Dodge and the FCA crew to have all 3 of their major brands in the top.
At the bottom of the list, with the most problems was Tesla.
With what was their number?
250.
So it's 2.5 problems per 100 car per car.
And then you were coming back up the list now. Land Rover, Audi, Volvo, Mercedes-Benz,
Ooh, ouch. Those are all expensive cars.
Jaguar.
We're still at the expensive car level.
So I don't want to get into the rest of it. But at any rate, they cited widely praised technology such as Fiat Chrysler Automobile's Uconnect infotainment system.
Well, you guys brag about Uconnect all the time as being the best one out there. But the infotainment systems are one of the systems that drive customer dissatisfaction.
That's correct.
Quite high in the J.D. Power survey.
Actually, it is actually the number one thing. And the number one thing within that is voice recognition.
Huh?
Uh-huh. Voice recognition. Tesla. Who would have thunk? I wouldn't have. Infotainment remained the most troublesome category. The study found almost 1/4 of all new vehicle problems stemmed from voice recognition. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay connectivity was another one. Touch screens another. Navigation systems and Bluetooth.
So the problems being reported by the customers are all technology related, not structural, not mechanical.
Yeah.
Right.
You never hear engine jobs anymore. Well, I had 700 miles on it and the engine blew up.
Yeah.
No, that just doesn't happen anymore. But there was a time that it did.
Well, and now the level of technology on cars is being raised every year. They're adding more and more features to the car and higher technology. So with that comes the struggle of doing it correctly so that it is an easy interface for the driver to utilize those technologies.
So we've gotten word that Cole is not going to join us from the Creekside Off-Road Ranch.
That was Don's Mitsubishi. But anyhow, we will we'll soldier on here. Did you hear that Ford announced that it will go with an all-electric F-150 for sale in 2022?
Yeah, I believe that. They're all going electric. They're going to have electric availability. They're all going to do it.
Right.
And my take on that whole electric thing. It's all fine, well, and good until you need
juice.
Until you need some electric juice up there in the battery. Then what?
Yeah, it's the infrastructure to keep it going.
If you think that AAA's busy now with dead batteries.
Wait till they drive around with that truck with the big, huge 440-volt generator on the back of it to come give you your electric car jump charge.
Here, let me fill you up. It'll only cost you a couple $100.
Yeah, you're only going to have to sit here on the side of 610 for an hour.
And I don't remember if we talked about this in the past. General Motors and Honda are planning a joint development electric vehicle based on GM's EV skateboard platform. And a skateboard platform is wheels, tires, and drivetrain, and then bolt any kind of body you want on top of it. The exteriors and interiors of the new EVs will be exclusively designed by Honda, equally sold by General Motors, and the vehicles will be manufactured at GM plants in North America.
That won't happen. I just don't see that happening. Do you really, honest to God, think that's going to happen?
Yes, because I think
it's not.
The cost of EV technology, the cost of battery technology, when they can join together and share that cost with manufacturers.
It is GM.
Well, that's a whole lot of it.
Well,
but it's still, the market's still got to develop. I mean, they got to do this research. I understand it's development. It's going to take years to really get there, but they've got to develop a market as they go. You look at Texas. Texas, you want to drive 900 miles across Texas, you're going to have a heck of an EV to do that.
Well, and you're trying to put together a show that's purely about EVs here in the future as well.
Right.
So that's something we can talk a little bit more about.
We'll be talking a lot about it. And we'll specifically talk about Don's problems with it. Yeah.
Don has anxiety.
No. It is
That's a 4 hours.
It's a 4-hour show. And
we'll be joined by Dr. Oz.
Right. Because of the rash that I have that I break out with every time I get an EV. I'm going to figure out how. Let's see. That rash, all that's caused by EV anxiety.
Maybe we can get Dr. McInville to join us.
But that's all part of it. That's what I'm saying. It's not just you.
I have to tell you, I received a press release this week of some, PR firm touting the fact that their charging company, whatever it was, I don't know whether you
Right.
got this or not. Their charging company now has 2 routes that go from the East Coast all the way to the
Yes.
West Coast, and you don't have. They got their chargers all the way. I cannot even begin to imagine driving coast to coast in an electric car.
No, and electric cars really weren't designed to do that.
Well,
My opinion is they weren't.
All I can think
I
of
agree
is
with
that
you, but
there
that's
needs
where
to
we're
be a subsidy for motel rooms along the way because it's going to take you 5 days to get there because you're going to have to stop every 10 minutes to charge the car.
Well, remember, Tesla's working on what I call the battery cartridge, so that you can unplug when you pull in, you can unplug the battery cartridge, remove it from the vehicle. They'll slide another battery cartridge in and send you on the way. And about the time it takes your vehicle to fill up with
There was
gasoline.
also a story this week that I received that there is some manufacturer now that is working on technology for taxi cabs in some other place on earth that if you want to buy the fleet of vehicles, they will come and install a no plug-in charger. So you just drive the taxi over this big charger, and it somehow magically charges, kind of like a cell phone, that you put the cell phone in your center console.
Do you have to get out of the car?
No, you don't even have to get out of the car.
I think I'd get out of
your butt.
I would get out of the car. There would be no way.
And there's people like Zekin over here who's got his pacemaker and all. You're going to go, okay, well, Jeff was with us before he drove onto the charging pad, but he's no longer with us. It's a Frankenstein kind of thing. Okay, well, good luck with that.
Well, yeah, but that's my point. The PR people, the marketing people, they're trying to make it like this is everyday driving. That you can drive these EVs just like you drive anything else, and you can't. Now you can do your 20-mile commute. You can do a 40-mile commute.
Mm-hmm.
I can't drive it from Beaumont to Houston and back. I mean, I
well,
can't
you
make
tried
that.
I
I tried.
BMW thing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's I understand the vehicle's got a purpose, and I'm okay with that. But sitting here saying, "Oh, now you can go across the country from New York to L.A."
So you make
if you put it on a train.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing between pure EV and hybrid. When you look at a Toyota Prius,
I'll take the hybrid.
it's a hybrid. There's a gas motor that either propels the vehicle or drives a generator, and the vehicle is propelled by the electric motors.
Sure.
Now I think
propelled. I think
propelled.
propelled was the correct term.
But it's just you just can't. It's make believe to sit there and say people are going to buy EVs to drive across the country. They're going to be the Griswolds are going to leave Chicago to go to California in an electric car. It's just not going to happen.
So
in the family generator.
That's right.
So Mars, living over there in the Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange area, he drives over here. How far is the drive?
110.
110 miles, okay? So at the most, when the car's all charged up and you feather the throttle and you don't get crazy with it, maybe 200
Yeah, I was
miles.
going to say
maybe.
That's about what they talk. But
So
that's
he
driving
comes.
soft
So he
in
comes
general.
over here, gets here at 8 o'clock in the morning. We do the 2-hour show from 10 to noon here.
Plugs it into your
Plugs
house.
it into the house, and it says, "Oh, well, you just gained an extra 5 miles. You're going to have to keep it plugged in until Sunday night at 10 o'clock.
It's a long extension cord.
On 110 volts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Honey, I'll be home in a week. I got to go do the show.
This is Texas. This is not New York City.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're not all jam-packed in here.
Well,
it takes 2 hours to go from one side of the town to the other almost.
Well, and that goes to when GM released the Bolt, which you did the car review on last week. That was only released in the California markets and the New York markets because they knew it was all just a commuter car.
And that's exactly what it needs to be. It needs to be understood. But, again, when the PR guys and the marketing guys come out and say, "Oh, you can drive cross country in this EV," it's an illusion that they're trying to use to justify buying the car.
Where
and it
is the
doesn't
stop
exist.
button?
Yeah,
stop.
I dealt with PR guys and marketing guys when I was an engineer with General Motors.
And you
Believe
still-
me, they don't know what the heck they're talking about before they can sure talk fast.
And you still are.
Yes, I am.
All righty.
All right. Shall we move on now?
Yeah, because I'm fixing to get stirred up.
You are stirred up. Well, we brought you around from unconsciousness when you walked in and mind set on a lost wallet. Now you're ready to go with Ram Tracks. In Will Time's weekly look into the Ram Nation. Mr. Mars always
I
does that
am
for
so
us.
ready for this, because I've actually seen this. And this is, we've been talking about storage in the vehicles and stuff. And this is an upfitter, but you can get it through Ram. And it fits into the bed of the truck. It actually replaces the bottom part of the bed. And it's got these long pull-out drawers on them. You can see it right there
sits
on our
on
screen.
top of the bed.
Yes. And you still can put stuff in there. But it's got it, and you can compartmentalize it. It's deep enough. You can put power tools in there. You can put all kinds
Bags
of
of golf
things
clubs in there.
Put bags of golf clubs in there, bowling balls, I guess, if you wanted to. But it's really designed so that whenever you've got stuff that's in there and you hit the brakes and it slides all the way up to the back of the cab and you got to climb up in there over stuff, well, now you can just grab the drawer and pull it out, and it's right there. I remember the first time I saw this was at the Texas Truck Rodeo, and we were cleaning up. And I can't remember how many cases of beer we put in there that we had to take because we were finished with it.
Was it 99 bottles of beer on the wall?
Oh, there was at least 99 bottles there. I mean, there were several cases that fit in one of those drawers. And I thought, how cool is this? You could put some ice in here, and you've got it made.
It was designed right, just the size
and
for
you,
a couple
and you
of
pull
cases
it out
of beer.
as you use up the beer. You just pull the drawer out a little bit further.
Plus, it had a cover on it that secured whatever it was you wanted. to
Nobody
store
would
in
ever
it.
know walking by.
That's right. But it was really cool, and it's some of the great storage options that you can find these days.
All right. And where did you find that?
Well, actually, I found it at one of the upfitters, but this one was actually on decked.com, which is a company that builds it because of the deck that was right there.
All right. Thank you, sir. Time for a quick break. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. We are all things automotive. Our live broadcast is available 10 to noon Central Time before all the good stuff gets edited out. Just saying.
911, what's your emergency?
God, there's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still doesn't stop. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
You know, if you'd ever like to get in touch with us here at In Wheel Time, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. And you're probably wondering what all this is sitting in front of us, and here's the answer.
Well, a lot of times people talk about, if I'm going to go out in my Jeep and I'm going to do some trail rides, what do I do to improve the performance of the vehicle cost effective? One of the biggest things to do to help the performance of the vehicle when you're trail riding is adjust tire pressure. Now, there's all kinds of formulas out there for how do I adjust the tire pressure based on the weight of the wheel, the weight of each wheel on the vehicle, the size of the tire, what kind of ride you're going to take. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to tell you, if you just kind of want to simplify it, if you drop somewhere between 10 to 12 pounds of air pressure on your car, on your tires, when you're off-roading in that Jeep, it's going to give you a larger contact patch on the ground. It's going to let the tire wrinkle a little bit more, so as you're going over rocks and sharp things, it's not going to puncture the tire. And I know Jeff, my tire guy, is here going, but the fact is, when you're off-roading, your tire pressures are going to be different than when you're driving down the highway at 60, 70 miles an hour.
Well, you certainly don't want to drive down the highway at 67 miles an hour with,
10
five
pounds low.
pounds of,
Right.
yeah.
But again, the objective is, how do I improve my traction in the vehicle when I'm doing 3, 4, 5 miles an hour and I'm off-road? How do I protect my tire from a rock puncture? You do that by lowering the tire pressure. You allow the tire to kind of wrap around the rock to help your traction, but you also let it wrap around the rock so it doesn't puncture into the tire. So all of those things come into effect, but one of the things that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to bring a compressor with you of some kind. Now, I've got a compressor that plugs into the cigarette lighter.
Oh, my God, that thing takes forever to fill
Actually,
up the
it didn't
tire.
take as long as I thought it would. But,
Oh, Lord.
but
If you're
Don's-
out in the outback, though, and you're sitting up there on the side of a hill and you want to get down off of it, What else you going to do?
It beats nothing.
Exactly.
So, Don, we've got a compressor here, so you can adjust your tire pressures back. When you get back on the highway, you can get your tire pressure back up to the number that's written on the placard inside the driver's side door at that 31, 32 to 37 PSI range. But if you're going to go off-road and you're going to go off in the sand, you're going to go off in the mud, you're going to go off on the rocks, you really do want to lower that tire pressure to help your traction alone, and that'll give you an improvement in the performance of your Jeep. Today was all about Jeeps, and that was one of the things I found on Off-Roader magazine. Was,
I want you to
tire
know
pressures.
that there was a time that I was actually trying to work and build myself a dune buggy out of a truck. And I did a lot of research. This was a long time ago. I did a lot of research, and I had some big, fat, wide tires for the front tires, the steering tires. But in the back, I wound up buying what looked like airplane tires. They were actually farm implement tires, but there was no traction knobs on them, nothing like that. It was all about surface. So
Right.
you would have a rib here that went all the way around, another rib, and then another rib, and you'd have these deep wells. So nothing but contact, and they were able to increase the contact area as opposed to running a slick.
Mm-hmm.
It increased the contact area over a slick. And so that's what I put on there.
and
Big,
that's-
wide things.
And that's the objective of lowering your tire pressure, because it makes your tire fatter on the contact point on the ground, so it helps your contact
Yeah,
patch.
you get stuck in the sand. I mean, everybody, they just bury their down at the beach. They keep trying to drive them out. There's 2 or 3 different things you can do, but one of the things you can do is lower the tire pressure a little bit to get that wider stance there to try and
footprint, right.
get up there on it.
This one here is a plug-in-the-wall compressor, but the reason that I bought this one is because plug it in the wall, and it also has a tank. The tank doesn't last a very long time without the motor running on it. And so I would imagine that a good plug in the cigarette lighter.
Mine puts out 1 CFM per minute. And I was reading yours. I think yours puts out 1 CFM per minute.
There's another thing you can do, which I've got one down at the beach. It's a tank that I fill, and it's basically shaped
yeah.
just like that one. And I fill it so that if we're out on the beach, and
That's what we used to
instead
do
of
at
a
the car
plug-in,
dealership.
Yeah, you just take the tank out there
Right.
and you fill it up. It'll do several tires.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we did at the car dealership when we had a flat tire on a new car out there. We didn't lug around motors and all that stuff. It was just a tank with a handle on it.
Right.
And sometimes you can use like an old propane tank, because at some point after the propane tank's 5 years old, you're not allowed to use it for propane anymore, so you can use it with compressed air.
Yeah, we go to Harbor Freight. You can catch it on sale, a tank with a gauge on it for $20.
Yeah, I bought that compressor I bought. It's got a nice gauge on it, a 10-foot cigarette lighter and a 6-foot of hose. It was $44.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's lots of options, but you're right. You got to have something if you're going to do that.
And if you've got it in the car, hey, you might be able to help somebody get off the highway if they're having
Exactly.
trouble.
All right, we've got more of the In-Wheel Time show, including this week's automotive news headlines coming right at you.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The In-Wheel Time Car Show is a weekly event. We do this live on Saturdays from 10 until noon Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and inwheeltime.com. But throughout the week, if you've missed portions of the show, we put up podcasts in 30-minute little blocks. And so
you can listen to them while you're driving down the highway and enjoy us later in the week again.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, we have some news headlines to tell you about. 30% of drivers turn off adaptive cruise control, according to a survey released Wednesday by Erie Insurance.
No trust.
Making it the top safety feature that drivers disable. The survey identifies 11 safety features that are disabled the most. Lane keeping assist, which I despise.
Do you really? I like that.
Oh, my God. Drives me nuts. And driver attention monitoring round out the top 3.
That's the thing to seize if you're dozing off.
But, if it gets that bad, I'm going to pull in somebody's parking lot. Drivers said their most common reasons for turning off or disabling features is that they find them annoying and or distracting, according to John Bloom, who's the vice president of personal auto at Erie Insurance. The survey listed several other reasons drivers disable these features, including lack of control, limited helpfulness, false alarms, lack of trust.
Yeah, well, lack of trust is the thing.
And bad experiences. Yeah. Well, it was supposed to stop. I'm sorry I crashed into the back of your car. It was supposed to happen. It didn't.
Said the Tesla owner.
And drivers are paying a significant amount of money for these safety features. According to Car and Driver, adaptive cruise control systems can cost $1,000 to $4,500 depending on the vehicle. The Erie survey found that 17% of respondents turned off automated emergency braking and 11% turned off forward collision warning.
See, and those two I don't think I would turn off.
I would. Drives me insane. I'm looking. I see the car. Don't brake now because there's somebody riding my tail through this intersection.
That's true.
Drivers also disable lane departure warning. Me. Traffic sign recognition, don't even know about that. Pedestrian detection, nah. Blinds, one less you got to deal with.
Get out of my way.
That's it. Blind spot monitoring, rear track. Now, blind spot monitoring, I got that. That's a good thing. Rear cross traffic alert and backup cameras.
I like that,
I do too. I wouldn't turn those off. Erie Insurance surveyed 500 licensed U.S. drivers over 18 with 2016 to 2020 vehicles. The Pennsylvania company is one of the largest homeowner casualty and automobile insurers in the U.S. Blah, blah, blah. There's that.
Well, it's going to get to the point where some features you're not going to be able to turn off, and that'll end up being some federal regulation because they'll read this report and say, stop turning those things off. It saves lives.
Stop breathing. That'll save a life.
No.
Yeah, sure. Just, but seriously, it's too much.
Send your cards and letters to
DonArmstrong.com. But at any rate, anyway, they're annoying.
It's nanny controls. And when you talk about nanny controls, you can go back to the early days of Corvette and Viper battles where the Viper guys had no nanny controls and the Corvettes had all kinds of them.
Nanny controls?
Yeah. Well, look at your Corvette. It's got traction management. It's got
where does the word nanny come from?
Nanny, nanny, boo, boo.
No.
You got to do that, not me.
No, it's because the nanny's watching over you, making sure you don't hurt yourself. Look at the Corvette. You've got traction management. You've got analog brakes. You've got yaw, skid control.
I like all that. I need that.
You do, but in the early days of the Viper, it had
nothing.
Through the middle life of the Viper, it had none of that. So that's the difference of some people want a vehicle that has some of those controls in them, and some people don't.
Yeah. Well, I caught the car. When I was driving the Viper, when I did a little speed shift from second to third, woo!
Oh, yeah.
Loosey-goosey. No.
Didn't matter how big those tires were, that thing had enough power to spin them.
And torque. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, at any rate, we're almost out of time, believe it or not. It goes by fast when you have a good time, I think. Don't you?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Luckily for all of us, and you too. That's it for today's In Real Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like and watch our show over and over and over again. You'll also get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting features along with all things automotive. And while you're online, watch us on YouTube too. Our website is inwheeltime.com. Podcasts of this show available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. The In-Wheel Time chief engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video technical director and sales queen is Jeffrey Zekin. Special thanks to all of our guests today, especially to Mr. Jim Morrison with Jeep and FCA. For Mike out of this world Mars down there, King Conrad DeLong right there, I'm Don Armstrong. Hey, thank you for following the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Tell all your friends about us, please. Have a great week. Stay cool like you know you are. We invite you to our live 4th of July show online next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon Central on all of your popular social media platforms. We'll see you then, and please keep it sanitary.